Starting off, I took this quilt batting and used it to make my head a little bit bigger since he has a giant head. And I'm going to put my bald cap on over that. I found actually it was a lot easier to put the batting inside of the wig cap, or the bald cap, excuse me, and then put it on my head and get it kind of situated. Next, I cut out little slits so that my ears would stick out around the bald cap, and then I went ahead and used some spirit gum and stuck everything down. You want to make sure that it is tacky before you lay your bald cap down on it, or else it won't stick very well. So when it's tacky to the touch, then you know it's ready. Taking Mayron's Clown White, which is very fitting for this, I am using a big fluffy brush and I'm just putting this all over my bald cap. I got a little overzealous because I wanted to start painting right then, but I needed to lay down my liquid latex around the edges just to kind of blend the bald cap into my skin. Since we are giving ourselves new eyebrows, I am just using this washable glue stick and putting glue on my brows, kind of pushing them forwards and backwards to make sure everything's coated, and then using the spoolie to make sure that everything is nice and flat and even on my skin. So he does have a lot of texture in his forehead, so I am splitting this toilet paper in half and creating jagged little pieces from it. I'm laying down a little bit of liquid latex, and then I will put the paper in it and then coat it again with more liquid latex. This is just going to give us really nice texture and a really uneven kind of feel, which is exactly what texture is. It's also really nice too because it helps to kind of blend the edges of the bald cap with your skin, especially if you're not like super great at blending bald caps. Going back in with my Clown White, I am just putting this over top of the tissue paper and latex that we just did, because as you can see, once the latex kind of dries down, it does have a yellowy kind of cast to it, so we just want to make sure that everything is blended together and nice and even looking. Now we're literally just going to paint our entire face and neck and basically you just kind of lay this down, and the best thing that I found to do with it is to kind of pat it more or less. I do kind of swipe, as you can see a little bit here, that's just to kind of get a lot of area covered, and then I'll go back and just kind of stipple it in with the sponge just so that there are no uneven patches and everything's kind of blending together how I want it. Taking an angle brush and some brown powder, I am just drawing my new brows on. So I had a reference photo, so have one of those handy and just kind of mimic that shape. His brows are like pencil thin, so don't get too wild with it. Now taking a fluffy brush and black eyeshadow, we are really gonna smoke these eyes out. So there's no rhyme or reason to this, and obviously it's not gonna look perfect because you wanna look kind of like dirty and messy and just overall grimy. So just have fun with this part and just really kind of pack it in there. I did at least 2 layers to make sure that it was black enough, especially on my actual eyelid, and then I used less powder or eyeshadow on the outer edges just so I didn't have like raccoon eyes, but more or less a smoky effect. For the lips, I used some Mehron water activated red paint. You obviously could use lipstick or lip gloss if you wanted, but it was just something that I had handy and it was going to match exactly to the lines that we will be drawing here in just a second. Okay, so for this part, it is crucial to have a reference photo. When I first drew these lines, I wasn't completely in love, and I had to stop myself from having a full-blown meltdown because I am a perfectionist and I have OCD about things being completely symmetrical. So as you're about to see, like, they aren't perfect, and I do go back in multiple times to kind of even them out. So the lines ended up being a little thicker than I might have wanted initially, but I will take even symmetry over exact thinness. So I don't know, probably doesn't make sense, and it probably honestly sounds crazy, but you know. Also, he has these little lines starting from his eyelid going up through the brow a little bit. Now we're just going to fill in our little clown nose. I've seen tutorials where people overdraw their nose, or they like add extra filling to their nose using like latex and whatnot, but I just decided to stick with my normal nose. So I used a mirror, obviously, but I had to kind of look up and down every so often just to make sure that when I was looking dead straight ahead, the line went straight across my nose. So it looks kind of like curved when you're looking down, but when you look up, it is completely straight. And this is the final look. This wig honestly gave me so many problems. I can't even begin to tell you guys, so I didn't even include footage of that because I just couldn't. I will link a video to Ellie Max. She does a great job and honestly was the inspiration behind all of this. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.